YouTube, welcome to Millie's Crafty Corner. This is my first video and today I'm going to go over alcohol ink backgrounds. So this is an example of a background that I'll be doing. I have several others on the FSC group on Facebook. So here I'm just showing you the paper I'm using is Yupo paper. I'm using alcohol blending solution. I'm using some alcohol. I have it in this little spritzer, and I have another one with water. I mark them with the little, dot on the bottom. So that's my alcohol one. And these are the colors that I'm using. This is Glacier. This is all from Ranger. This one here is Amethyst, a nice purple. I love purples, blues, greens. And this is Patina. So these are the three colors that I'll be using today. I'll also be using this little booger suction thing. If you're a mom, you know exactly what this is. That's all I've got as a blower tool. I have some paper towel just to clean up, because it will get a little messy. And I also have a piece of foil that I'll be placing on top after I place all of the alcohol inks and it dries completely. Um, and I'll talk through it, as we go along. I'll explain. So I'm just going to fast forward as we go through this. I'm going to start with the blending solution, and I just kind of just pour a bunch of it onto the Yupo paper first. And this just helps the inks move as I drop them. As you see, I just put droplets all over the place, no rhyme or reason. Um, just all around spreading the color, and you see how it just kind of like spills out. It's really cool. It's a cool effect. So I start out like that, and then I just start blowing. Just random, all around, just kind of mixing the colors around, kind of covering the paper. This process is going to be a lot of, layering. And you're going to see I'm going to use a lot of ink blending solution. And the reason for this is not only to move the inks and kind of get them around and get them fluid enough that I can, kind of manipulate them and put them exactly where I want them, but it also, the blending solution, when it dries down, it stays kind of tacky. And it stays tackiest in areas where it kind of gathers, like the color and the blending solution kind of pull up a little bit together around the edges. Um, and this, I notice, allows me to put the foil on top and it sticks to it. Now, I discovered this because when I first got the alcohol inks, I didn't have blending solution. I couldn't get my hands on any alcohol, but I decided to just give it a go and make a panel. And it came out great. But when I went to put foil on it, there was no tackiness or stickiness whatsoever. So I just assumed, maybe the paper I was using doesn't allow for that, or, the alcohol inks, maybe I didn't use enough, or whatever the case. Once I got my hands on the blending solution and I made my first panel, that's when I discovered, oh, it's the blending solution that kind of allows that stickiness, that tackiness. So I tend to use quite a bit of it. In this panel, I won't use too much. I wanted to keep it kind of soft and simple for the most part. But as you see here, it's just a lot of layering. I just keep putting color where I want it, a dab of the blending solution, and then I just move it around and I manipulate it, in the direction that I want it to go. I don't worry too much about the very edges of my paper because I will be cutting it down to make a panel for a card. So a lot of that will be cut off. So I don't concern myself too much with the edges. If you start with a panel that's the size of the card you want to make, then you might want to make sure that you cover, unless you like white space, that's another thing as well. You can absolutely leave some white spaces here and there. It's all, whatever aesthetic it is that you like. So yes, so here I just keep dabbing the colors, layering the colors on top of each other. They kind of mix a little bit and kind of make a deeper tone of a certain color. So it's just really fun. It's really easy. I like it because it's very freeing. You don't have to be worried about perfection with this because the more imperfect it is, the more beautiful it is, in my opinion. I absolutely love how it's just very just abstract, just free flowing, and no two panels will ever be the same. Trust and believe, because I have made panels that I have personally fallen in love with, and I try to recreate it, and it's not. And it makes sense. It's a liquid, and it's going to move and settle. How it's going to. You can manipulate a bit, but you can't really control exactly where it's going, which is also kind of a fun thing. It's a freeing experience, when you're playing with these inks. It's just awesome. So here I'm just showing you, I'm pretty much happy with that. Now we just let it dry. I'm gonna spritz very little, just from far up, some alcohol on top of it, and it creates texture, which I'm going to show you right here. You can't see it right now, but as I bring it for the close-up, it adds a texture to it, and I really like that element because this is all flat. There's no, you know, um, texture that you can feel, but it adds the look of texture, and I like that. I think it adds to the final product. So I'm letting it dry off to the side, and I'm just gonna spritz my mat and just kind of wipe it off and clean off all this alcohol ink and blending solution. Just clean up my area. And my area is super tiny, guys. Maybe someday I'll show you. I literally have a corner, hence Millie's Crafty Corner. So yes, so here we are. I'm checking it to see, and it's a little like tacky, a little sticky. So I'm pulling it up so you could take a look. You see the alcohol, it makes those little white spots, those little white dots. You can see it really good there on the left-hand bottom corner. And I like that. It doesn't, it takes it from just a solid background and makes it look like it has some sort of dimension and texture. Look, you see the alcohol, how it kind of spread the color. It's almost like it lifted the color off of the areas where it fell. And I love that. I really love the way that looks. That's just an aesthetic that pleases me. Um, so yeah, so I'm just trying to show you all that texture. And here we go. So now we're going to move on to where we try to put the foil on top of it. So I'll show you how that goes in just a moment. Here we go. You take the foil, you take the dull side down, and you just place it on top. And I literally just use my fingers and I just kind of just rub around in any of the areas, like I said, that the blending solution and the color, the actual alcohol inks might have stuck, will hold on to the foil, and you'll see that here. There we go. And I just keep doing this process. So I just move the foil around, I place it down, I rub with my fingers. Nothing crazy. I don't need a bone folder. I don't, need anything like that. Just your fingers. Just press down on it and it will grab it. Whatever stayed tacky will hold on to that foil. And so I just keep doing this around, and I'll show you a close-up. I'm not making a card in this video with this panel, but at the end of the video, I will show you a card that I did create using this panel. And basically what I did, I had some gold, like foil cardstock, and I just cut a piece and put it onto my card base, and then I put this on top of that. And kept it really simple. I didn't put a sentiment or anything on it. I kind of let it work for itself. Here you could see the shiny gold all around. It almost looked marbled. It's really fun and it's really easy, guys. It's really simple. In real time, this took me a total of 16 minutes to record. And I fumbled a few times along the way, which I took out of here conveniently. But it really doesn't take very long, and it's very just freeing and fun. And you can make a ton of these in a really short period of time. And then you'll just have a bunch of, backgrounds that you can play with later on and make cards out of, or die cut, or, stamp on, whatever it is you want to do. So yeah, here I'm showing you, don't throw that away. I still keep it for another card. There's still plenty of foil on there that I can play around with. And then you just cut around the edges. That's what I'm explaining here. And then I'm showing you all the products again that I use, the colors, the blending solution, which is a lifesaver for me, and the alcohol in a little spritzel bottle. And my little suction thingy. Yeah, embarrassing. Don't judge. Bye, guys. Thank you so much for watching. This is the card that I made. I hope you enjoy it. Please follow along, subscribe, and give me a thumbs up just to let me know that you enjoyed it.